Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
assholeconsulting.com. With these new bumper stickers, not to keep plugging them, new bumper stickers, you can get them for free. Just send me an email. Watch the video on the bumper stickers first before you do. Hey, I want one, and then you never provide me your name or mailing address. I will probably be also bringing on, as an experiment, some part-time assholes. So there'll be other new assholes, not just myself. And I know many of you, oh, but we only tune in for. I understand you only tune in for me. That's how it's grown. But if you put these bumper stickers on your car, new people are going to be coming in. And they won't know, who's this guy? Who's that guy? They won't care. And the truth is, I'm just anticipating I'm going to have more work than I personally can handle. So don't be surprised if you see some new assholes on the site. Hey, asshole, I've been following your videos for a while now and would like your service. I have a lot of things going right for me, but despite my successes, I am in need of a professional kick in the ass. As much as I'd like a video response, let's keep this to an email, as there's too much. Well, then wait, did you pay for it? It looks like I just sent you $50. I like a video request. Now you change your mind. All right. So I'm not fucking worrying or losing it. I mean, you could do a personal video if it's easier. After a while, if they're this long, yeah, it becomes easier. I pay extra, blah, blah, blah. Hearing the oomph and emotions things. Background, 26-year-old white male with all the privilege. What do I need you for? Living in Fargo, North Dakota. I've been here my whole life. I studied IT for 4 years. Locally and worked for a company as a developer right after college. Fargo is kind of like the last place America really was where you could graduate and start working right away. Especially with the Bakken oil boom. And learned everything from actually working in 3 months as opposed to 4 years of bullshit. Go figure. I got into consulting contracting in this line of work about a year ago and have been able to jolt my income up to $225,000 per year. Yeah, what the fuck do you need me for? Holy shit. Working remotely with travel every couple months. I can essentially do this from anywhere in the lower 48, and the outlook over the next 5 years is at least very stable. This honestly blows my mind to just type. Yeah, after a while, like, you think after, what, this is the 4th year of asshole consulting, you think, I mean, like, it's been digested and incorporated in my mind. I make money doing this shit. It does, it's just like, holy fuck. I make money doing this shit, man. Yeah, I know. I can't believe it either. I don't know if you ever really, like, that much luck. In your case, it's maybe not luck, but that much good fortune. And be happy that you never take that for granted, you know? Like, be happy it's still amazing and rare. Because you'll never take it for granted, and you'll always be very happy and thankful that you got it. I'm unbelievably fortunate to be in this position. Sure, I've made all the right decisions, and I'm fairly smart and good at what I do, maybe more than I give myself credit for, but never my wildest dreams that I imagined that I'd be where I am now career-wise. Well, now also keep in mind, somebody's got to be lucky. Somebody's got to have good fortune. Good things do happen to deserving and good people, and sometimes scumbags who don't deserve it either, all right? But good things do happen, so don't feel bad. Don't be like the other guys, like, oh my God, everything's going great and I feel horrible. It's like, why? You should be happy. But on the same hand, learn IT and hustle and build some connections and hop around a bit. You should be able to bank $100,000 per year after a few years. I end up being a bit luckier, but that doesn't just create itself either. Career advice for future videos to more people in my generation. Problem, I'm fucking bored here and my social life has been unsatisfactory. You are in Fargo, dude. Long story short, I paid off my loans as soon as possible right after school and then saved up for a small down payment on a house. Shit, you probably have it paid off by now. I've been in this house for about 2.5 years. I started renting out to my brother and a couple buddies, and now it is just my brother and I and a cousin that is in town for a few months at a time every so often. Family is the biggest reason I stick around here. My brother has some disabilities but doesn't exactly need my care either. He's able to work part-time in a minimum wage job, get Social Security and Medicare, as he should, unlike the welfare bums and refugees. I give him a discounted rate on rent and all. He could drive and whatnot, but will never be able to do much more than that by himself, barring some huge biotech advancements. I really like living with him, and he likes being here. My parents are in town. I know that they'll be around for him anyways, and he's had a studio apartment by himself in the past. So long as some family is around to help him when he's needed, he'll be okay. In short, it is awesome that we're together like this, but I know he'll be okay if I'm away as well. I want to hop around the country a bit, which wouldn't work for him, but perhaps a few years down the road I could settle into a place and he could live with me there. It's kind of like Rain Man, you know? He is important to me, and I will make sure that he is taken care of no matter what. I'm also really lucky to have all 4 of my grandparents around. We're a pretty tight-knit family, even including cousins, aunts, uncles, which is really cool. I know that they won't be around forever, and since it's nice to be a few hours from all of them. On the same hand, though, being away can help strengthen the bond. My sister and I don't get along too well when she was in town, but since she moved to Seattle, we've certainly gotten closer, so perhaps that is right for you. Yeah, dude, you gotta... I'm a big advocate of getting the fuck out and going and traveling without your loved ones. The GF will get on my nerves, I'll get on her nerves. And then all of a sudden I'm gone for 2 months. It's like, holy shit, you start to appreciate and you find out whatever minor problems you had with them were minor. But yeah, if you want to start appreciating someone, have them cut off the supply of their presence, or you cut off the supply of their presence, and it's like, oh, I kind of miss these people. Like I said previously, I'm fucking bored here, particularly in the winters when I'm stuck in my house working all day, and I'm stuck in my house after work because there's nowhere else to go. I know you've been to Fargo, and I like it to some degree. It isn't a bad place, but let's be real, it's quite boring. Yeah, I mean, I've visited. Fargo's a great town to visit. You guys got a great downtown area. There's some hot chicks. I was like surprised, like, holy shit. What the fuck? Did feminism not hit this town yet? I mean, it's like, wow. But yeah, there's... I think after a week you get pretty bored with that town. And I'd be fucking heading out to Theodore Roosevelt National Park. It's actually quite boring. Absolutely zero to do outdoors. I'm big in hiking and climbing. Shout out to the Black Hills of Montana, and you certainly won't find that here. Oh no, I know. I mean, the closest is Theodore Roosevelt, and then you just want to keep on going to, not Haver. What's the town with all the moss agates? Fuck. It's Glendive? I think it's Glendive. Then you get some interesting formations with the Yellowstone River. In addition, I say this in more of a location-independent frame. Mid-20s social life kind of sucks, especially when you are a higher IQ and stray from the norm. Absolutely. My best friend is married and has a kid. Sure, we could go out, play softball, grab lunch, have some drinks on a weekend night at his place or play with my friends, but that isn't that exciting for a 20 singles guy. Some friends from a few years ago have moved away or gotten married as well. All there is to do is go downtown to one of those bars on the weekends. I don't have enough friends that want to go out often enough to gain a lot of social momentum. And also, while going out every so often is fun, it isn't exactly the epitome of a kick-ass social experience. Loud environments jammed full of lower IQ drunk people doesn't quite fulfill me. God, you know, I wish I knew that when I was your age. Like, I'm like, why don't I like concerts? Why does everybody else like this? What, you know. Just fun once in a while. I've learned how to integrate, but I'm more introverted and would prefer to have more than just that. My life for the past few years has consisted of working in the office or at home more recently, and then having fuck all to do after. I lift weights in my garage and go run, walk, bike, or in the park. Maybe once a month I'll want to, and if it's willing to, go out of town. Go to Bismarck? Family and friends will tailgate Bison football games in the fall and hit up the lakes here or there in the summer. Outside of that, life has been really fucking boring. It's so difficult to gain social momentum and grow as an individual in this environment. I've really gotten big into Mr. Money Mustache and the early financial independence movement as of late. Dude, here's the problem you're going to run into. What would you do without work? I know that that's all totally geared towards early retirement, and that's great and awesome, but what the fuck would you do? See, could you imagine being in Fargo right now with all the money in the world and no job? You think you're bored now. So certainly, yeah, for the vast majority of people, you want to get the fuck, you'd like to have that fuck you position of money. But what I'm starting to run into, and oddly enough, I'm talking to retired people because that's more what my life is like right now. It's effectively being retired here by myself. Is you got to find something to do, and work is like, I'm so bored I may go get a pilot's license, not because I need it or I'd even make money doing it. It'd just be like, hey, hi guys. You're hey guys, hey, how you doing? No, I'm just happy to be here. And feel that is the only thing keeping me going at this point, besides working out and getting in better shape. I like my work, but hate working full-time hours a day in and day out. Yeah, but if you remember how you miss your family when you go away. Work is the same way. You need something to do, and if it goes away, Chris Beckloff said it great. The only thing worse than having a job is not having a job. And they're not talking about the money. Some part-time seasonal work of this nature would... part-time seasonal work of this nature would be kick-ass after building up enough nest egg, though, if possible. I estimate that I can build up enough in investments to conservatively sustain myself indefinitely if I jam at this work for another 5 to 6 years. I only spend around $30K per year, and I'm fairly minimalistic myself. 30? You're spending $30K? Well, I guess if you had a mortgage, all right, maybe. More money would be nice, but at that point, I'd rather be free than work another 2 to 3 years so I can have another $10K per year at retirement. Mark my words, you will be retired for 6 months, and it'd be, fuck, what do I do? And you'll be begging to work again. Minimalism is awesome, but travel on a budget can still cost a pretty penny, and skydiving and snowboarding aren't exactly cheap hobbies to get into. This financial stuff, God, oh fucking mighty, I'm glad I charged you a lot. This financial stuff has been my main focus lately, and my thoughts have really revolved about grinding it out for another 5 to 6 more years until I reach this point. Again, it isn't the work part that I dislike so much, it is the life outside of work. Okay, so imagine having no work at all. Work isn't so bad when you have a kick-ass life. In my experience, I think that I'm projecting my disdain for my life outside of work on work, not the getting out of the 40-hour corporate work week shackles. This is something that you want to do as soon as you can, because that kind of sucks in and of itself. So I feel like this thought pattern of mine is toxic. I should be living an awesome life during these years of hard work rather than throwing it away, waiting for retirement or wherever, as that will magically turn things around, and it might, but I shouldn't be throwing these. How did you get $225,000 a year? Because you take way too fucking long to get to your point, dude. And to reiterate once again, yes, I know how fortunate my financial situation is. However, I'm spending the same amount as I would when I was making $50K. The true payoff really comes from being free earlier rather than scaling up my life working. I think I can answer my own questions, go somewhere else, although I could tell you how many times I've seen one of your videos and you've thrown some fresh perspective on things I hadn't thought about before. Getting rid of my shit, selling my house. I don't know. I mean, you can rent it to your family members for cheap and they'll watch over it. It's not bad to always have a place to live. I'm more worried about people that get a McMansion in the fucking suburbs and they're a single dude or gal and they got a 5-bedroom house and they can't afford the taxes. You have yours rented out. It's cash flowing, and so you always have a place to go. I mean, I'd be paying off that thing first. That'd be the first thing I'd do. If you want another goal to work on, aside from Mr. Money Mustache, pay off that fucking thing. And then life gets a lot easier than it is now. And going somewhere brand new is a bit of a daunting task, but I'm certainly capable of. I've thought about dabbling in travel first. I could, for instance, keep my house and renters and go live with my sister and husband in Seattle in the burbs for a month or two right away. There you go! Not a bad idea. I think you'll find out you'll hate Seattle and you'll want to be on the other side of the Cascades. Then you maybe want to check out Spokane or Coeur d'Alene over on the eastern side of Seattle. Although you can just drive out there. I would recommend you drive out. Take 90 all the way across, dude. It's 94. Take 90. Or is it 90? 90 cuts up into and meets 94 at Billings. Then does it turn to 90 from there on out? And then 90, or is it 94? I think it turns into 90. Just go straight. You're at the same latitude. Just cut over. That would be a little more but that would be more like a little vacation. I think I need something more drastic to really turn things around. By the way, I could not keep this house as a rental. It would not draw good rates enough to keep. Better off selling and buying stock or a more appropriate rental, which I don't want to get into at the moment. Well, what's wrong with your brothers paying rent and your cousins? Oh, I've read Reconnaissance, man. I think that doing something like that is exactly what the doctor ordered. Go hit up a few places for a few months at a time. Hell, I could come back to North Dakota, Minnesota for a few months in the summer if I wanted. Yeah, explore the USA for a few years while working and perhaps find a spot I really like. Drawbacks from hopping around. So much might be added cost for short-term rentals. I have the frugal gene despite the income, but I can get over it. You're going to have to, because that's going to cost you more in the long run. Let me explain this. You will ruin your life staying in North Dakota. You have to go and explore and do reconnaissance, man. I'd recommend that's your script. You know what to do. There's your instruction manual. But mark my words, you will ruin your life if you do not go and explore. If you do not get out of Fargo. Now, what you're doing with your penny pitching, as they call it, you're tripping over dollars to pick up pennies. And you're missing the bigger picture. The great thing about having the money you make is that you can afford this. Now, this doesn't mean you don't rent out your house. This doesn't mean you don't Airbnb it or try and get it to cash flow. Unless you bought some egregiously large monster of a house that you should get rid of, all right? But I think just having a small house where you can rent it out, especially now that you're this age, a lot of people in their 20s need to rent that you can trust your family and friends, although still make sure that they pay. So I'm not in a rush to get rid of your house, right? Pay that off first, but then go and spend the money. And you can do it wisely. Crashing with your sister, you'll save a lot of money. Even to this day, I'll still sleep at a wayside. I sleep on people's couches. That's the only way I can afford to go out every winter and avoid Minnesota. So you make way more money than me, and you can easily afford a cheap Airbnb. You just got to search it. You just got to search. And then you go out and you do a reconnaissance. And even though you might do that for a year or two and spend an extra 10 grand per year most, I can't see you spending more than 10 grand a year to rent. I mean, if you do it cheap and on the, you do your research, you'll find it dirt cheap. So let's say you do that for 2 years, you spend 20 grand, you will find out where you want to live and where you belong. And in doing that, guess what? Realtors' fees alone, the realtor commission alone on your buying and selling houses, I'm going to try moving over here. I'm going to try. That's one huge waste people don't think about. I've had one female friend of mine, she's bought like 7 different houses, and she's only my age. And none of them were rental property, but she just keeps getting whacked with that 7% sales commission that the realtor, it's 3.5 buyer-seller. But every time, man, and that's going to be way more than the 20 grand that you spend on temporary housing while you conduct reconnaissance. Then you find out, oh my God, I belong in Butte, Montana. You just love Butte, Montana. You sell your house in Fargo, you buy yourself a nice little spread in Butte, Montana, and then you're done. You never travel making erroneous mistakes. I'm going to buy a house and live in it for 5 years. I'm kind of bored. And then that's where the money adds up. So spend the money. Spend the time that you can more than adequately afford to explore and conduct reconnaissance in the United States. And hell, if you read the book, you got the map, you got all the instructions. I saved you at least 40 grand. Well, not 40, okay. More like 10 to 20 grand as well, at least a year or two of your time, because you're not going to bother with the east side of the country. You know what to do. It can be very efficient, very rewarding, and heck, a lot of fun. But you got to loosen up the purse strings, man, because what are you going to do? Well, you saved all this money, and then you die at 73 with $5.8 million in the bank. That's $5.8 million that was wasted. Why did you pinch your pennies that much? You should have spent it on it while you were alive. Not that you whittle it down to $0. You die the second you run out of money. But you're the type that's going to die with $5.8 million, which is truly tragic. That's a sin, because you could have had a hell of a lot more fun. You could have helped out people, for God's sake, even charity. But yeah, you don't want to die with a shit ton of money. That means you didn't spend your time wisely. You worked if you die with $5 million in the bank, you worked way too fucking much and had nowhere near the amount of fun you should have had. Everyone, oh look, he died with $1 billion. Dude, if I had $1 billion, I'd be fucking shit up so much. I'd be playing insane practical jokes on my friends because I can't take it with me. So stop fucking yourself over with this penny pinching bullshit and go spend a little bit of this money, especially the fact that you can work remotely. I've read Reconnaissance Man, US of A. Explore. And having to meet new people every few months could be a bit taxing. You don't worry about social life. That's here. Look, Reconnaissance is very lonely. All right, I won't lie to you. There's no perfect. You're not gonna walk into some new town. Hey, it's Bob. Hi, Bob. Good old friend Bob. It's not like that. I'm terribly appreciative of the fans and the friends I have that I've met traveling around. But to get to San Diego, you gotta drive through Arizona, and I only know people in Phoenix, and I don't know anybody in Yuma. You're gonna be alone a long time. Get used to it. All right. Then when you find a place to settle, then you have fun. Seattle, though, I mean, you're gonna have fun hanging out, so it's not like you're gonna be terribly lonely. But right now, your goal is not to make friends. Your goal is to find a place. That's your goal, is to find out where you belong. Having a few people be taxing. I think I'm more of a long-term relationship dude rather than wanting to bang every girl that moves. I'm not stupid enough to ever get into a binding contract. So that could suck moving around often too. Yeah, but good luck finding a long-term girl. You don't have one, it seems like right now. They're kind of rare. So stop basing your life on things that are statistically improbable to happen. Go live your life, and I guarantee you, you will find a girl hiking in Montana or rafting in Idaho or whatever it is you want to do, smoking pot in Seattle, complaining about capitalism in Pioneer Square, whatever. I gotta do what I gotta do. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Good, yeah, you're not doing this. This is not a social mission you're on. As far as places to go, like you, I'm the American West guy. Anything east of Minnesota, Wisconsin is shit outside of maybe the Carolinas. Haven't been there. I've done some consulting in the Ohio area and have driven through the Rust Belt. Fuck that area. Those Appalachians are some nice hills, though. Yeah, that's because you're in Fargo. Don't go to Montana. I'm not a big city guy. I like nature, but also want to be in proximity to some population for the whole social dating aspect of things. Salt Lake City, Reno, Santa Fe, Boise, yeah, all right. All look like they Bend. I don't know what Bend is. Santa Fe is for old farts, just so you know. You're going to want to visit these places first. All look like they might be right up my alley. Colorado would be sick. Yeah, Denver. I like Denver. Colorado would be sick too, but isn't Denver a bit far away from them? No, Denver. Have you looked at a map? Look at the image search of Denver. It's right up to the fucking mountains. The suburbs are built right into the mountains. It's right there. There's mountains in the back. Yeah, dude, you gotta get out of Fargo, man. You go to fucking Ohio. No, go to Denver. Denver's a bit far away, not to mention overcrowdedness on shit, and the state as a whole is expensive, I think. No. There you go, thinking again. You can afford it. This doesn't mean you go piss away your money in some preppy, Swipple white suburb where all the soft, wimpy white guys live like Castle Rock. You don't go there. That's all a bunch of wimpy, spoiled guys. All salesmen, all driving their luxury cars and Harleys. But you can afford Loveland, Fort Collins. You could go into the mountains and hang out in Empire. You don't have to be. You could go to Grand Junction, Colorado. That's not a big town like Denver. It's a smaller town, and it's on the west side of the mountain. You're near Utah. You really gotta go check out Colorado and hit the different towns. Salt Lake City's another one. It may be too big for you, but don't let this, it's too expensive. You know where it's too expensive for you to live? San Francisco, New York City, Los Angeles, I'd say some parts of San Diego. So you're not Phoenix you can easily live in, so you can live in Vegas, but you're not gonna be buying in Paradise Valley or Scottsdale. But I'm thinking you can live pretty much wherever the fuck you want, making almost damn near $250,000 a year. And you can find cheap places to live no matter what. Everyone, oh my God, it's expensive in Florida. No, you can find a dirt cheap place anywhere. You just gotta look. Keep in mind when they say average rents, this includes all the fucking downtown condos, all the Dubro frat boys and the prissy little white bitches from the suburbs gotta have, Daddy, oh my God, Daddy, I need a downtown flat. That drives up the average rent, but yeah, regular bums like you and me, we can find a couch anywhere. I bet you could find a place easy to rent in the Denver area for around $500 a month. Won't be the fanciest of accommodations, but you should be able to find something. Carry a gun. I also love myself some Black Hills, but Rapid City might be a tad small. Okay, well Rapid City's the largest town there. If that's not big enough for you, yeah, there's no other bigger town that's kind of the town in the area. I like it, but it is a small community. It's old, not a lot of youth. I take that back. And there's a couple colleges out there, but it's more my pace. I love the Black Hills, but I can't recommend it to everybody. Comments on the mentioned cities or any suggestions? Thoughts on Juneau, Fairbanks, and Anchorage would be cool too. I've never been there, so I don't know, and that is kind of on the next list. I was going to do it this summer, but I just don't have the energy. I needed a summer to sit on my fucking ass and do nothing. I know that Alaska was just beautiful, what I saw of it. It was just amazing. But there's no people. There's just no one out there. Here's the thing. I can't tell you what you shouldn't, which cities are going to be good for you. I could tell you to fucking visit all of them. And I could tell you should start this shit now. Start it today. Summer, go hit Montana, Idaho, visit your sister. All right, knock out those 3 states. It's Montana, Idaho, Washington. Yeah, those are the next 3 states. Check out those northern Rocky areas. Hit Glacier National Park on your way back. I would go drive Beartooth Pass just to see it, although you don't want to live out in that area. There's nothing out there. There's Red Lodge. Just to see that. I would hang out a little bit in Seattle. I could see where if you stayed out of the city, Washington State has no state income taxes. It's a beautiful... Wentworth. Go to Wentworth, Washington. Beautiful. There's towns. There's places. So you got to spend a little... And spend a month. You're going to need a month just to check out that whole area. Hit Boise on the way back. I'd avoid Seattle and Portland like the fucking plague. You don't need to go to those places. There's no reason you should participate with the parasitic cultures there. Salt Lake City. It's a little bit boring because of the Mormons, but beautiful. Beautiful. You could get lost there. Then come fall, you're going to do another trip. You're going to let the weather work for you, all right? Because summer you want to go north. By fall, it gets cold, as you're aware, I'm sure. So go down south. You're going to hit Utah, Moab, Zion, Colorado. We're going to do all Colorado. Maybe you can hold off Zion till winter. All of Colorado. Cortez, Durango, Denver. Steamboat Springs, don't even bother. It's just, there's nothing up there. But Grand Junction, if you want that medium-sized town, I strongly recommend you take a look at Grand Junction. And you must hit Moab and hit all the parks in that area. That is a must. It'll give you perspective. And then come wintertime, when you need to get the fuck out because it's colder than shit in Fargo, you fly your ass down to Vegas, you rent a car for a long-ass time, and you're going to do Vegas, you're going to do Zion, you're going to do Phoenix, you will do Flagstaff. I would just skip all of New Mexico. There's really no reason to do New Mexico. And then if you get time... No, I would do just Vegas. I'd just do that. I would do that. Phoenix and Vegas and Reno, that'll give you enough to digest. I'd leave Texas for a separate trip because it's so far away. And I'm not a big fan of Texas. I love it, don't get me wrong, but it's not mountainous enough. There's not enough cool stuff. It's got its own culture, though. And so maybe I'd recommend during another winter going down to Dallas. Larger point, though, is this. It's going to be at least 2 years. If you do it aggressively enough, you can do 1 year. But it's going to be at least a year of you doing regular reconnaissance, driving out there, exploring the country, and hitting these different towns before you figure out where you belong. Okay? Now, in your particular case, again, you got to think differently because you are rich. Okay? You got to think differently. There's nothing that says you can't have it all. Okay? You know how women, we can do it all. No, you can't. You only have 24 hours a day. And then they suck at everything. You have enough money, you can do it all. So, what you can do, summertime, Christmas time, whenever you want to spend time with family, you stay in Fargo. You got your room with your couch. You rent out the room. Your house is taken care of by your brothers and cousins. And you kind of come in and out whenever you need to. Boss needs you to fly in, you fly in, have a meeting, whatever. Then you fly out. Well, I'd say in your case, you probably get a really reliable car and drive out because then you have your car. And then like this month, I'm in Seattle hanging out with my sister. Well, maybe I'll go back and visit my folks. The next month, I'm going to go down to Colorado and just check out Colorado. In other words, your home is not Fargo anymore. Your home is where your car and laptop is and wherever you have internet access. And it's going to be a different lifestyle. It'll be somewhat draining and taxing. But if you feel lonely at any time, you fly back home. Hang out with the family. All right? Winter gets a little cold, you fly down to Phoenix. Check out Phoenix and Tucson and do some hiking. And yes, it's going to cost you more money. Yes, you're going to have to buy flights. Yes, it is not going to be the Mr. Money Mustache way. And yes, you might delay getting the $4 million that you could take out at 4% per year that would allow you true financial independent freedom. You are missing the bigger picture. That is for minimalists who only make your $50,000 a year or whatever. You are different. And you can live and spend your money as if you make $50,000 a year, but that's wrong. You don't make $50,000 a year. You make $225,000 a year. And you can work location independent. So it almost compels you to spend. I'm not joking. The majority of your expenses when you tally up your budget at the end of the year should be travel and hotels. Or Airbnb or something cheap or crashing with your buddies or whatever. Couch surfing or something like that. That should be the number one expense. Because that is your number one mission. And conveniently, your mission is not going to prevent you from working. You could go out. I mean, this is what I do. I bring my hair. I'll show you. I think you even got, yeah. If I'm taking the car, I take this. If I take the motorcycle, I take this. And I carry my work wherever I go. And it's probably the coolest thing that has ever happened in my life is that I can go fucking anywhere and do whatever I want. I'm in Hot Springs, fire up the laptop, do my work over at the coffee shop, the Blue Bison, look it up. Close that up, go back, hop on the motorcycle, and I go out and shoot my AR-15 or hike mountains over in the Black Hills. You can have the exact same thing. And it's not like, if you just follow my plan. No! There's no following a plan. It's just you getting into your head, hey, wait a minute. Even if I spend $10,000 a year on lodging and $5,000 on gas and another $10,000 on a good reliable car, I'll come nowhere near to bankrupting myself. I'll still be just fine. And slowly but surely, just so you know, it took me 10 years to fully recon the entire western United States to my satisfaction. But in due time, you'll know exactly where you want to be, exactly where you want to go, and so what? You delayed your Mr. Money Mustache retirement by 1.5 years or 2 years. You're 25. You got all the time in the world. Right? You're in no rush to retire in this particular case. Right? So understand, I'm not advocating you piss away money. You going and exploring and reconning the United States, well, Mexico too, if you want to go overseas, you can do that as well, is the wisest use of your money. Because you just have so much of it, you're not going to waste it. If you say, I'm going to buy a Ferrari, I'm going to drive around the country, I'm going to go to Vegas and meet some whores, then you're pissing away your money. But you're not. You're gathering wisdom about the country and trying to figure out what you want to do in life. And there's no more better investment or noble purpose than that. Okay? Then once you find out, okay, so what? You go, you work over there from home, from your laptop again. And you keep your place in Fargo. You always have a place to go visit family. Family's very important. You can kind of take care of your brother a little bit there. I think you're trying to aim for something that just isn't possible because your situation is damn well near perfect. You just got to loosen the purse strings a little bit for wise expenditures. And then understand that it is worth a $400 flight to Fargo Regional Airport to visit your folks. I know it's $400. Oh God, I could have paid off. Oh, I could have shortened the amortization of my loan by 3 months if I made that $400. I should just stay here at a place I'm miserable so I could save $400 every 3 months because I don't have to fly back. No, motherfucker. Spend the fucking $400, $500, $600, whatever it is, to fly from Vegas to Fargo so you can see your folks on Christmas, and then you fly your ass back to Phoenix. That's your goal, man. That's your mission in life. And you know what? If you go out and you're flying and you got a question like, hey, where do I go here? What's to do? Chances are I know what town or what to do in whatever town. You ever run into trouble? I know people. You're not got to worry about breaking down on the side of the road. And there's a damn good chance if you're out there reconning, you're going to run into me. You know, so kind of let me know if you go to one of these places. Like, hey, I'm going to be in Phoenix. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm in Phoenix too. Let's go hike Sabino Canyon. And I know you might be a little intimidated or scared. Oh, I haven't left Fargo. Yeah, tough shit. You got to leave Fargo. And because here's the other thing. If you don't, then you will be 46. And you'll have kids and a wife. And you'll be stuck in Fargo because your wifey poo just has to have those kids in the good schools. They've been going to school with their children for this past 3 years. Well, we can't move our kids out of the schools because the schools are so good and the schools are schools. And then you're fucked, because no man has the penis or the spine to tell his wife, fuck that, we're moving the kids, we're taking them out of fucking school, and we're going where I fucking want. It happens in Minnesota all the time. Like, these guys are like, dude, why the fuck are we here? Why am I shoveling snow again? Fuck, let's go to Phoenix. But the schools! Schools! Fucking women. Schools! So, do the recon now, because if you get to that point in your life, you're too old to, and it takes energy. It does. It takes energy. You'll regret not doing it. You will. You will regret not doing it. I regret not going to Denver in my 20s. And I'm ahead of the game of everybody else. I still have regrets. So please, you owe it to yourself and your family too, because here's another thing. You think your look, the whole family, they're going to die. Your family's going to die. You may want to set up a Southern Command so that when you guys are old and your family, your brothers and sisters, and they get a little bit old, they're like, you know what? It fucking sucks here in Fargo. It's cold. Hey, our brother Bob's got a place down in Phoenix, and it's warm. Holy shit. Fuck this, Fargo. Hey, how you doing, Phoenix? So that's how you lead. I know it's kind of weird, but that's inevitably how you lead as a sibling. Where you go out and explore, and then you set up another command somewhere. Anyway, hope that helped out. You guys got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. Everybody can get the book Reconnaissance Man. It's available on paperback, audio, and Kindle, along with my other books. And listen to the Clarity Podcast while you're doing a reconnaissance. You can find that on soundcloud.com. Toodles.